What properties should you probably stay away from, and what houses should you just straight up avoid?
Home crap home.
Listen, I've been a realtor since 2008. I have been in thousands and thousands of homes over the years. And to be perfectly honest, I have seen some shit. As a home buyer, especially as a first-time home buyer, it is incredibly easy to find a listing online and fall in love with the home before you ever actually see it. And I get it. House hunting can be frustrating, especially when there aren't a whole lot of options out there. But real talk for a second, I typically advise my clients against buying certain houses more than I advise them to buy a house. There are a lot of red flags that when I notice them, I make sure that you know that it is going to be an issue, and most likely an expensive one at that. There are definitely going to be deal breakers for many home buyers. So let's dive in and take a look at some homes that you probably shouldn't buy. Starting off with flips. Are there some good flippers out there? Of course there are. I've seen some amazing renovations with beautiful and quality work that I personally would live in. But knowing what to look for, I can usually pick out a good flip from a bad flip in less than 5 minutes. From updated kitchens and bathrooms to stylish flooring and fixtures, flipped homes offer the allure of low maintenance, contemporary living. The majority of flips I see on a regular basis look really nice in pictures and upon a quick glance when you first enter the house. But once you start taking a deeper look at the home, you see where things start to go wrong. While they may look shiny and new on the surface, they often hide a multitude of problems underneath that glossy veneer. Flippers are notorious for cutting corners to maximize profits, oftentimes prioritizing cosmetic improvements and aesthetics over structural integrity. Rushed renovations and substandard materials can lead to shoddy workmanship and hidden problems that might only reveal themselves months or even years down the line. And while a freshly flipped home may look like a bargain on paper, the true cost of repairs and upgrades can quickly add up, turning what looked like a steal into a money pit. And you definitely don't want to inherit someone else's DIY disaster. When purchasing a flipped home, buyers should prioritize quality over quantity. While flashy finishes may dazzle at first glance, it is essential to look beyond the surface and assess the overall quality of the renovation. A thorough home inspection can uncover hidden defects and offer a peace of mind for most home buyers. But for the most part, many flips I would just avoid. Before we move on, if you are finding this video useful or valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I do try and post new and helpful content every week. I love old homes. Lakewood, Ohio, where I live, is a city full of gorgeous 100-year-old plus homes. My home was built in 1911. The craftsmanship, rich histories, and unique architectural features in these homes exude character and charm. But beneath that vintage charm can lie many potential headaches. In many of these 100-year-old homes, along with all that gorgeous character, can come a host of age-related issues. Lead pipes, once commonly used for plumbing when these homes were built, can pose serious health risks, especially for families with young children. When lead is absorbed into the body, it can cause damage to the brain and other vital organs like the kidneys. Lead may also cause extreme behavior problems, learning disabilities, seizures, and in extreme cases, death. While some homeowners may have replaced many of these lead pipes at some point, the risk of hidden lead contamination remains. Before 1978, lead paint was also very commonly used. Lead-based paint and lead-contaminated dust are considered some of the most widespread and hazardous sources for lead exposure for children in the United States. And while there are tests you can perform to confirm the presence of lead, if the home was built before 1978, I would just assume it's there. Then there's the outdated wiring. Knob and tube electrical setups were the norm back in the day. But today, knob and tube systems can present safety hazards. These antiquated systems are ill-equipped to handle the demands of modern technology and can increase the risk of electrical fires, even if some of the wiring has been replaced. Any knob and tube that remains will have outdated insulation, which can degrade over time and pose a fire risk. Another common concern in older homes is the presence of asbestos. Before they knew it caused cancer, asbestos was basically a miracle product. It was often found in insulation, flooring materials, and exterior sidings of the time. Asbestos exposure can lead to serious health problems, including lung cancer and mesothelioma, making its removal a priority for many homeowners. Removing asbestos can be a costly and time-consuming process, not to mention the health risks associated with the exposure. Again, I am a a huge fan of old homes, but you need to know what you might be getting into before you decide to make an old home your home. One of the first things that I really look for when touring homes is foundation issues. Foundation problems can lead to structural damage and compromise the integrity of the entire home, making it essential for home buyers, especially first-timers, to be extremely vigilant when viewing and evaluating potential properties. So what should you look for? Visible cracks in the foundation, walls, floors, or ceilings can indicate foundation movement and settlement. Now, minor cracks are typically nothing to be concerned with. Concrete cracks, and most home will have some level of settlement over time. Now, bowing, bulging, or shifting basement walls is another story altogether. Another thing to look for are uneven floors. Floors that slope or feel uneven when walking can suggest foundation settlement or shifting. Doors and windows that stick, jam, or don't close properly may be another sign of foundation movement. Signs of water damage, such as dampness, mold, or mildew near the foundation can indicate drainage issues or foundation leaks. So what causes foundation problems to occur in a home? Well, there are a lot of factors. Expansive clay soils, which shrink and swell with changes in moisture levels, can exert lateral pressure on the foundation and cause it to shift or crack. Here in Northeast Ohio, our soil is composed mostly of clay. So with our multiple freeze and thaw cycles and rainy seasons, we see a lot of foundation issues caused by this expansive clay. Improperly designed or constructed foundations, inadequate drainage systems, or substandard building materials can also contribute to foundation problems. Excessive moisture from leaks, poor drainage, or flooding can also weaken the foundation and lead to settlement or erosion. Big trees growing near a foundation are never a good thing. Tree roots can actually grow into the foundation, causing shifting and movement, and they can even break concrete block foundations. Tree roots can also absorb moisture from the soil around the foundation, causing it to dry out and shrink, which can lead to foundation movement. But George, can I just have the foundation repaired? Of course you can. If foundation issues are detected in a home that you are considering purchasing, it is important to have the right people to evaluate the problem, find out the cause, and come up with the proper solution. A professional foundation contractor will conduct a thorough assessment of the property to assess the extent of the damage and determine the appropriate repair method. This can include perimeter excavation, wall stabilization, or even rebuilding the entire foundation or walls. Typically, foundation repair includes excavating the entire exterior foundation below the basement floor, repairing or replacing the affected walls, repairing or replacing the drainage systems, and then backfilling with gravel to relieve any of that lateral pressure on foundation walls to prevent any issues from happening in the future. Sounds great, right? Well, foundation costs can vary significantly depending on the extent of the damage, the chosen repair method, and local labor and material costs. You can expect the bill to be tens of thousands of dollars for foundation repair and addressing the root cause of the issue. For most people, taking on such a major repair with an enormous price tag is just not going to be feasible. So if a home you're thinking about purchasing has foundation issues, it might be wise to just pass. Moving on to mold. When present in a home, mold can release spores into the air, which when inhaled can cause a range of health problems. These may include respiratory issues, allergies, asthma exacerbation, and even more severe reactions in individuals with compromised immune systems. Certain types of mold, such as black mold or Stachybotrys chartarum, produce mycotoxins, which can have severe effects on human health. Mold requires moisture to grow, so homes with water damage, leaks, or high humidity levels are particularly susceptible. Common sources that can lead to mold growth include water leaks from plumbing, roofs, or foundations, poor ventilation in bathrooms, attics, or basements, flooding or water intrusion from storms or natural disasters, condensation buildup on windows, walls, or pipes, and wet building materials such as drywall or insulation due to leaks or flooding. If mold is detected in a home you're considering purchasing, remediation is essential to ensure a safe and healthy living environment. The remediation process typically involves several steps. First, a qualified mold inspector will conduct a thorough assessment of the property to identify the extent of the mold problem and determine the best course of action. Containment measures are then implemented to prevent the spread of mold spores to unaffected areas of the home. This may include sealing off contaminated areas and using negative air pressure systems. Mold-infested materials such as drywall, carpeting, or insulation are removed and properly disposed of to eliminate the source of mold growth. Surfaces and materials that can be salvaged are thoroughly cleaned and treated with mold-inhibiting solutions to prevent further growth. Mold remediation from a reputable company will be effective in removing the mold, but making sure you address the root cause of the mold to prevent it from returning is going to be key here. Steps need to be taken to address the underlying moisture issues that led to the mold problem to begin with. So things like repairing leaks, improving ventilation, and reducing indoor humidity levels is going to be really important. So in addition to the costs of removing the mold, taking care of the underlying issues can be a pretty extensive process and a big expense. So in addition to spending thousands of dollars to remediate and remove the mold, the price tag to address the cause of the mold can be an entirely different and large expense. So should you buy a home with mold? Well, there is no easy answer. It all depends on the amount of mold, the recommended steps for mitigating it, who's going to pay for it, and most of all, how badly you really want the home. If it is the house of your dreams, one that you can see yourself living in forever, then make sure you know exactly what you're getting into with remediation and expenses. That said, please don't take mold lightly. If you're not in love with the house, the presence of mold might just be the final straw that makes you walk away. So there you have it, my top picks for houses to avoid. Again, if the house is perfect for you and you understand the problems, plus you're willing to take on the large financial burden, then go right ahead and buy it. But for the average home buyer who is already financially stressed to purchase a home, you are probably better off saving yourself the headaches and steering clear of these potential money pits. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I hope you found this video valuable today. If you have any real estate or home related questions, please feel free to leave a comment below or reach out to me directly. And if you're thinking about buying or selling a home here in the Cleveland, Ohio area, I would love to have a conversation. My name is George Poporad, and I'll see you next time.